3-0 since the trade deadline. I want to point this out real quick. 3-0 since the trade deadline. I think some of the Atlanta Hawks fans, along with us in our reaction to the trade deadline, we might have got this wrong because the Atlanta Hawks are reeling right now. They are doing a great job. 3-0 in their last 3 games. I want to say 3-2 in their last 5, Chris?
Well, I mean, we've won 4 of our last 5 games. And the only loss came to the Spurs, a game that also was winnable, but we just didn't get it at the end. We was talking about that, but we'll get into it.
Yeah, before we go any further, it would be crazy for us not to christen the show once again. What's going on, everybody? My name is Walter Pollard, and this is none other than Chris Tipmore. We are your hosts today for Atlanta Hawks Digest, and we have got to dive into it all. Now, the first game from the trade deadline, of course, we had Georges Niang. He stepped up in a major way for the Atlanta Hawks, and he did a great job. But I think there's somebody else that's also vying for a position, not necessarily for a position on the team, but definitely for a position to exert himself as, hey, I'm going to be a contributor on this team, and you guys are going to see more of me. Now, we've got to go into it. Last night, the Atlanta Hawks, they definitely did have a game versus the Orlando Magic. They ended up winning that game. What was the score of that
game
again?
too, actually.
And what was the score of that again?
112-106, Atlanta ATL Hawks.
Now you were viewing some Hawks last night, some Skyhawks. Tell us about that real quick.
Oh man, the Skyhawks. Yeah, I definitely had to go down to College Park and check the guys out. See where the fundamentals are coming from when it comes to guys that are coming up like Moji, like Daquan Plowden, I say guys like that, even Keaton Wallace. So I wanted to see exactly like what was going on down there, and of course to show some love to our brethrens down in College Park. So I like what I seen, man. They had a good game last night. Overall, I feel like it started off kind of slow, but the Skyhawks was able to work their way, knocking down big shots at one point in time, but to like the third quarter, they knocked down at least by like 7 threes. So it was a good thing to see when on a 12-3 run that was really significant in the second half. And hey, man, salute to those Skyhawks, man. They were played good last night. They won like 121-113. But those were honestly just like garbage baskets at the end for Indiana.
For sure.
The Skyhawks definitely like twice in that game had 20-point leads. So salute to the guys down there in College Park. And I was checking that game out and also checking the Hawks out. I was doing double duty
last night. I dig it.
Yeah,
I dig
man.
it. Listen, we got some. Listen, we're getting some great responses. We're loving the conversation that you guys are digging on the page, man. We love to see you guys going back and forth, not arguing, not bickering. Thankfully, we haven't had a lot of Twitter fingers. You dig what I'm saying? A lot of people shooting those shots at each other, but definitely hit the like, share, subscribe button. Definitely want to see that number grow. At first, that small subscribe button was that subscribe number was at 11. Now we're at 12, and we want to get it up to more and more and more and more. Listen, hit the like, share, subscribe button. Send this to somebody that you may know who is an Atlanta Hawk fan, and of course the NFL season's over with.
But they're Falcon fans. Send it to them too. They're not
yeah, I'm with it. Yeah, them too.
Send it to the Falcon fans too.
Now, last night again, I'll get into the stats really quickly. Last night, the Atlanta Hawks took on the Orlando Magic. Trae Young, got to talk about my man's Trae, because I don't want to say he's been having a tough time. I think you have an understanding for Trae Young. And I want you to just give us your synopsis, because we spoke about this in our pre-production. And with Trae Young, I was noticing that, we get a lot of turnovers, thankfully, because of the Great Barrier Thief. But we give it right back. I'm missing something. I know Trae Young has been doing a great job with the assists. He's been doing a good job on the scoring. What's been going on though in the forms of the turnover? How do we fix that?
Well, I mean, the thing about it's a lot that goes into turnovers, right? Like, now, don't get me wrong. Trae, I've said many times, and I will continue to go on record, but this will be for any point guard. I'm gonna be, what I'm saying, of course, more critical on my own, but we can't have games to where he has high turnover games, 11, 10, 9. He had 9 last night. But like I said, it's a lot of things that go into it. Sometimes, when Trae lets the ball go, and if another guy can't corral it or the ball gets stripped, that turnover goes to Trae. It doesn't go to the person who he was passing it to. Now, all his decisions, I'm not defending all his decisions because there's times where I look at the game and I be like, Trae.
Yeah.
And everything.
Right,
So
right,
it's just
right.
like, I'm not saying that, but his usage, him having the ball in his hands for majority of the game, is going to happen. His usage is through the roof. He's helping assist, on points more than anybody in the league. Well, just about. He's top 3. I know that for a fact, if he's not number 1. So it's a lot that goes into it. So it's hard to be like super critical and just pound the table and just be like, Trae Young, you're a turnover machine. I can't say that because
No,
there's
you
a
can't.
lot of things that goes into it. Like, for example, like 2 or 3 of his turnovers last night wasn't necessarily on him, but of course they're going to be credit to him. So it's going to balloon it to like 9, 10 turnovers.
So is this a matter of overusage? Are we overly using our star player? Because again, prior to the trade
we know
deadline,
that already. We know that already, Walter, because coming into the season, we knew we had backup point guard issues.
yes,
We were just trying to, solidify it with Kobe Buffkin, Keaton Wallace, who's been a very serviceable guy who I do like and want to keep, by the way. But just, even with Kobe Buffkin, I feel like he's more of a 2, but we was going to have him at the point guard position, trying to find somebody behind Trae so he doesn't have to always have the ball.
for sure.
So, and honestly, that's another thing that is so nice that it catapults us right into this trade because we do have other guys who can handle the ball. I will say, I'll raise my hand and say it in the beginning when the first trade happened and we traded away DeAndre Hunter. Did I feel some type of way? I absolutely did. But accountability is everything. And I came right back after I calmed myself down.
Right.
Got over the BS and just really just thought about it from a basketball perspective. And I was like, well, we have been waiting 6 years for Dre to ball like how he's been balling.
For sure.
That's a long time to wait. And
Right.
he's had injuries up and down his career. At the end of the day, as much as we love Dre in a Hawks uniform, because that's
Right.
what we're used to, we have to get over that and see the bigger picture.
Now, real quick, and I don't want to cut you off because we're pressed for time a little bit, but you were in College Park, and we noticed that somebody wasn't there. Muhammad Gay is his first start of the season. Muhammad Gay got the first start of the season. Really good job on his end. I hate that these.
Well, he played. I believe Barlow got the start against the Bucks, huh? Yeah, I think Barlow got the start.
And he stepped up pretty well as well in that game as well. But Muhammad Gay definitely stepped up. Again, Trae Young, 19 points, 8 assists in that game. So again, he's still on par for what he normally does. But somebody that we really wanted to highlight, and again, you can check and see the stats for who they are, but somebody that we really want to highlight for sure is the new addition to the Atlanta Hawks, Karis LeVert. He stepped up. I mean, again, the last game, our man George Niang stepped up, and he was able to kind of 16 points. And then, of course, coming into last night's game versus the Magic, Karis LeVert definitely stepped up in a major way. So major shouts out to him, brother. Tell me, break this down really quickly as far as Karis LeVert.
Hey, man, Karis LeVert, again, that's one thing I did say. He was going to be a wild card because, again, he could put the ball into the basket and he can give you quality minutes on both ends of the floor off the bench. So I was very optimistic about him. It's just I didn't want him to stay healthy. As long as he stayed healthy, I ain't going to lie to you, we got something off the bench.
Yeah, we do.
But in 32 minutes, the man had got 18 points. But it's not just the points. He was also efficient, being over 50% from the field, over 42% from 3. He hit some big threes last night, and also he created some of those threes, hitting guys with the jab, stepping back. Splash.
creating that space, creating that extra space
That's
between
all
him and
it
the
is.
defender.
That's all it is. And that's all it is. And my thing is too, he also had 8 rebounds too. For me, wings and guards who rebound is a wonderful thing in my opinion.
Yeah,
For
because
basketball.
the job's not all on, the big man. Major. I mean, again,
Right.
big shouts out to this guy for doing what he did last night, but also too, with the Atlanta Hawks in regards to that. I mean, Mo Gay, he of course got the start so that Karis LeVert and George Niang would be able to come off of the bench, and that's something I'm starting to find to be more beneficial. In all honesty, if I could hit the rewind button and go back to my days in high school, my days in middle school, the overall goal was to be a starter. But now I'm starting to see the bench players are way more important. The Atlanta Hawks actually outscored the Magic's bench last night at great bench production. That is something that the Atlanta Hawks needed. That's what we were looking for throughout this season. How can we beef up or shore up our bench? Now, unfortunately, last night we had the injury bug bite the out of us again. 2 players, of course, went down literally back to back. We had V. Krejci. Well, let's not start with him. Let's start with Larry Nance. He actually was caught bumping knees with an opposing player. He went down, of course. I'm not sure how long. I think they're still reevaluating him. So be sure to keep up with us, and we'll definitely let you know with that. But literally right after that, V. Krejci goes up for a massive dunk, and then he just has the worst kind of fall. I mean, it was so.
And Jonathan Isaac didn't even have to do that.
Right.
He was already going to dunk. It was a waste of time. It was a wasted play. I'm not going to call him a dirty player, but that
was a dirty play. Yeah, right.
It's like, come on now. Like, it is absolutely uncalled for. Right. And from what I was looking to try to see right now is saying on CBS that both players are game time decisions, but we got to wait from actual reports from the team to try to see exactly what's going to happen with Vit Krejci, who landed hard on his back.
Yeah.
And also, of course, Larry Nance Jr., who went out with that knee. Hopefully it's nothing. Well, I don't know if it's a knee or a shin because he was kind of grabbing at both areas.
Both of them, yeah.
And he had to be helped off the court. Yeah. So, and I hate that because Larry Nance was having a good game. Vit Krejci also was having a good game.
Yes, he was.
This was a team we're playing like more team ball.
Yeah, there is no. It doesn't seem like anyone is above either one. Now, it's cool if we have the superstars. Fine, great, I love it. But we oftentimes look to that Detroit Piston team that stomped all over the LA Lakers that finals series back in the early 2000s because we knew that was we knew that Chauncey Billups couldn't hold Kobe Bryant's jockstrap on a one-on-one, but we knew as a team they could beat him. Now, going forward, the Atlanta Hawks on Wednesday will be taking on the New York Knickerbockers or the Traveling Pants up in New York, and then
New York Shorts.
Yeah, the New York Shorts, and then we actually play against Orlando back at home after the after the All-Star break. I mean, and I'm not going to go through all of them because, again, you can see a back-to-back versus Miami.
Real quick, before we even get into that too, bro, I have to. It'd be a disservice if I didn't shout out Terrence Mann.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect from the field last night. He did everything. Call him Mr. Perfect.
Okay.
Because he was 4 for 4 from the field, 3 for 3 from the three-point line. Also hit his free throws as well. So, again, he had a perfect stat line all the way across. Still gave you 2 rebounds when he was in there. 12 points. That was actually absolutely perfect from the field. A +6 for those who care about the plus and minus. And also, lastly, about Trae Young, I want to say Trae Young had an unbelievable fourth quarter, though. He gave you 11
Yes, he did.
points.
It was right on time. You're absolutely right.
It was right on time. So, it's just like I don't want to degrade or anything about this win because there's so many key points to this win, and we can really go on about an hour just picking out just different things that the team was doing. But that's a great thing.
So you watched the game, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I listened. Again, shouts out to Steve Holman. Shouts out to Mike Conti. All of those guys over at 92.9 The Game. Really love, I rock with Mike, especially my time at 92.9 The Game. Listening to it, it just sounded so vivid. And Steve Holman said specifically, gosh, Trae had such a tough game early on, but in the fourth quarter, he made him where it counted. 3-pointers that hit daggers into that team, times where we needed to have a score or have a response to the Orlando Magic. I freaking love it. When I look at this list of games that we have, I put 11 because we have a back-to-back versus Indiana, another back-to-back versus Miami. Looking at this list, I see no less than about 3 to 4 losses on this, and that's putting it generously. And mainly because if this team can stay healthy, continue to play the type of basketball we saw last night, they could find themselves in possibly either the 4 or 5 position, because it's only 3 games that separates them in the next. Come on.
And bro, we only like a few wins out from the 5th seed.
Right.
And then like from the standings. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do us a solid right now. I can let you know exactly.
We're
Right,
number 8, I think. We just jumped, not Miami.
we are 26 and 28 right now. The Atlanta Hawks are. That's good enough for the 8th seed as we just leapfrog the Orlando Magic.
Awesome.
Also the Miami Heat, a team that we have a back-to-back against coming forward. They're 25 and 26. We're right behind them.
Right.
Also, you got the Detroit Pistons, who are 27 and 26. Again, the Hawks have 26 wins. The Heat have 25 wins, but they have less losses than the Hawks.
Less losses than we do. Yep.
Same with the Detroit Pistons. But if we continue going on this run, we can end up leapfrogging both of them and being in the 6th spot. Shoot, Milwaukee is only 28 and 24.
Right.
We can catch all these teams, is my point, is what I'm saying. And it was so crazy because I had said when we ended our 7-game, losing
streak, right?
I said when we had won that game, I said, man, hopefully we can go on a 7-game winning streak. I had ended up saying it inadvertently. And even though we lost to the Spurs, we're still we're on a 3-game win streak right now. We possibly still beat the New York Knicks. I think we can beat the New York Knicks. We were beating them before the trade.
Yes, we
were.
So
do I feel like we can do it after the trade?
Yep.
Yes, I do.
Yep.
And I actually think we're going to be better on the defensive end as well. Having guys like Caris LeVert, Terrence Mann,
Dyson Daniels.
Yep. And Zaccharie Risacher.
Yes.
Who got all these guys.
Who's coming to his own. Major shouts out to Zaccharie Risacher, who's coming to his own. He's starting to get confident. You start to see his shots are starting to become a little. Listen, we can go all day talking about this, but you guys let us know in the comments. Chris, before we head up out of here, what are your last words, my friend?
Hey, man, there's some optimism going on in Atlanta. I feel like, okay, you're going to feel how you're going to feel. And I did see a comment that I want to address as far as, for my people, because I feel like it's my job to do that just because I was one of the people that kind of like stirred the pot
for sure
on the DeAndre Hunter thing. So, guys, all right, again, waited 6 years for him to ball the way we did. We had to get the best value at that time. That's what they did. Would I have waited to the summer? Yes, but that's why I'm here and they're there.
right.
And then also, guys, hey, our bench is better. We sent out 2 guys and got back, technically 4, but 3 that were playing.
Right.
And they're all going to be able to rekindle and recoup that 30 points between Bogey and Dre that we lost.
For sure.
I said that before and I'll say it again.
For sure.
These players can make up for those points that we lost. And our bench just got actually deeper. You can tell deeper, and I feel like more efficient. Because you looked at it, we scored 54 points off the bench. And they also had more fast break points than they had. That's another thing that kept them in the game too. But it's just things that's going on. This is turning into a new Atlanta Hawks team. We just got to be patient. We just got to be optimistic because, again, the East is weak and the Atlanta Hawks, they are not packing it in.
No, they're not.
And also, last thing, Caris LeVert is an expiring contract. But if he continues to play this way, he's going to get another contract from the Atlanta Hawks, or at least an offer. You still got Terrence Mann and George Niang who will be on your bench moving forward. The Atlanta Hawks are building a foundation. We've seen it when they drafted when we traded for Dyson Daniels.
Yep.
And got Larry Nance and everything like that. They're building a foundation. I have to give credit to, for now to Landry Fields because they're building a foundation. Possibly he's learning as a GM. That is possible to happen. Let's just wait and see what happens. And hey, man, Hawks Digest, let's get it.
Hey, listen, my final words, 3-0 since the trade deadline. Simple and plain. 3-0 since the trade deadline. Hopefully we can make it for this upcoming Wednesday versus the Traveling Pants. His name is Chris Tipmore. My name is Walter Pollard. This is Atlanta Hawks Digest, and we are signing out. Peace. Sure.